back to Union University for this Saturday afternoon. Steve Beverly back with you as we get ready for Game 2 of our doubleheader against Alabama Huntsville. And this is one of those situations where the Bulldogs are hoping that the bottom half of the doubleheader will get things righted again. They were in this one until in the opener until we got down into the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and it was a strong 8-run performance on the part of UAH to give them a 10-6 victory in the opener. And I'll run down who the starting lineups are. They're trying to get the field ready. Of course, we jumped in on you and had the Senior Day activities in which the graduating seniors were being honored along with their parents here on the field this afternoon. But our second game right now probably getting underway in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. 67 degrees is our temperature here on the field. A little bit warmer than we had anticipated. We were looking for a high of 65 today. Humidity is 46%, and winds are out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. So that has picked up somewhat, and we have felt it somewhat in our press box with the window open here. It is a bit stronger than what it was when we were playing in the first game today. And I'll give you the starting lineups here in just a moment as we look through all of the game today. Got a different pitching matchup, and we are going to be seeing Lane Evans start on the mound for Union, and it's going to be Andre Orselli pitching for Alabama Huntsville, and the Bulldogs have switched over into their white home outfits for this one. Evans comes in with a 2-6 record. Orselli is 4-2. Orselli has struck out 53 and only walked 9, so he is tough on the mound. He has pitched 63 innings, given up 57 hits and 29 runs. For Evans, it's been somewhat of an up-and-down season. He's 2-6. He has pitched 39 innings. He has walked 36 and struck out 25, given up 51 hits and 46 runs. And our starters this afternoon for Alabama Huntsville, leading off and playing center field, will be Garrett Bodine. I was thinking of the old NASCAR racer, Jeff Bodine. Garrett Bodine, Carson Viata, who played in the first game. Viata, he is playing second base and hitting second, batting third. Landon Izell, the third baseman. In the cleanup spot this time is Colin Brewer. He's the designated hitter. And Jackson Lindsay is hitting fifth and playing first base. And we're getting set to go right now. So here we go. Standing in is Bodine to take on Lane Evans, and we are ready for the first pitch in game number 2. And that one is just, well, let's see what it is. Apparently that pitch is not going to count. And there's a lot of folks coming out to the mound now. And you can see the standing ovation all across the board here at Union University Stadium. So it appears that that first pitch that we saw there is not going to count for the Chargers. And now I think we are ready to go and officially start this game. Of course, this is an emotional day for parents and for these players who are seniors, as they are recognized for their in some instances 4 full years of contributions. And Evans taking his warm-up tosses. I think it was a little bit premature when Bodine stepped in there and suddenly you had that first pitch go off. And in fact, we weren't prepared for that one, and so we will, shall we say, rewind the tape and get it started all over again. Union dropping the first one 10-6, but hoping to get a split of this one this afternoon. Evans has a strong fastball and curveball, but he relies on his fastball more than anything in his repertoire of pitches. And he's been a hard-luck pitcher as this season has gone along, but he is hoping today to pick up win number 3. Bulldogs coming in after losing the first one, 13-26. And Alabama Huntsville, the Chargers, are 25-17. And to finish out the rest of the roster, it'll be Jackson Lindsay, Mitchell Rotier, Dylan Johnston, Caleb Mahan, and Hunter Tillman. That'll be their batting order, but it'll be Bodine, Vialta, and Ezel, who will start it off against Evans, and now we're ready to go. And apparently they did count that first pitch, so it is ball 1. We are officially underway, and that one's inside for ball 2. And the wind by Evans and the pitch. Up high for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes. And goes right down the middle with that one for strike 1. Waiting on his sign, and now he gets it. And the stretch, the pitch, and he went around on it for strike 2. And here's the 3-2. Low for ball 4, and so we start out with a walk. And that brings up the second baseman, Carson Vialta. And Evans delivers. And that one is hit to the first baseman, goes to second, back to first. How about that for a double play to get things going and a quick 2 outs for Union. Heads-up play to know to go to second base on that ball to get the lead runner, and then firing it back to first and gets the twin killing. And so here is Landon Ezel, the third baseman. And he's tapping that one over the pitcher's head, but it's picked up by the second baseman on to first for out number 3. So it's a very quick 1-2-3 inning with the double play. So at the end of a half inning of play, it's the Chargers nothing and the Bulldogs just now coming into bat.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Andre Orselli taking his warm-up tosses for the Chargers. And Union will send up Britt Netherville, the shortstop, second baseman Alec Hardy, and the right fielder Carson Chavies to open up their half of the first inning. Excellent fielding in the top of the first for the Bulldogs to manage to get that double play. And winding it up on the mound, Orselli. As we say, he is a tough one. Got an excellent fastball and curveball, good change of pace. He's 4-2 on the season. But the impressive thing is that he has 53 strikeouts and only 9 walks. That is almost an unheard of 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. So you know what you're up against when you're taking on Orselli. And he is a right-hander, and so Netterville hitting left-handed. And the first pitch is in there on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, going fastball all the way, and he went around on it. No balls and 2 strikes. And the wind. And the 0-2. Just goes down into the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here we are at the 5 o'clock hour as we are starting this one, and it is still just as beautiful an afternoon as it was when we started the opener at 1 o'clock. And got him to go around on that one for strike 3. Boy, he had a good fastball on that first at bat. So that brings up Alec Hardy, the second baseman.
Now play second baseman, Alec Hardy.
Hardy was hitting .286 coming into the first game today, and he takes a strike for the first pitch. We still got a good crowd out here at the Union Field, and everybody has enjoyed this so far this afternoon, even though the opener did not go the way the Bulldogs would have liked. Ball and a strike. And the wind and the pitch. And that one's fouled off into the screen hard. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's just cool enough at this time of the afternoon, even though it's gotten up to 67 degrees, that if you've got a light jacket or maybe a light sweatshirt or a long sleeve tee, it feels just right. Went around on it and got him swinging. Boy, he's got that good fastball today. He's blown it by the first 2 hitters, and here comes Carson Chavies, the right fielder. So Orselli starts right out with 2 strikeouts. That one misses, 1 ball and no strikes. And again, it's so good to have all of you, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, everybody who could not make it here today to see these young people play for both of these teams. We're glad to have you here on the Union Sports Network and on the BallGame Blitz Sports Network. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 out to Chavies, and he taps that one foul down the first base line. But here we are a month into spring, and you could not have asked for a more dialed up, better day than what we have. And the pitch. And that one is a bouncing ball. It's going to be a quick one from the shortstop to the first baseman for out number 3. So it's 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. So we have completed one of this 7-inning nightcap, and it is UAH nothing, Union nothing.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
And getting ready to start the top half of the second inning. And Lane Evans is going to face the designated hitter, Colin Brewer. Jackson Lindsay, the first baseman, and Mitchell Rodier, the shortstop. And he set them down in order in the first inning of play. Walked one, but then got an excellent double play. And Evans delivers. That was a hard-throwing fastball, but high for a ball. And for those of you in the Jackson, Tennessee area, expect a low in the upper 30s tonight. Yeah, the chill has, after that cold front came through yesterday, the chill has not left us. Some remnants of winter still around, and that one missed. 3 balls and no strikes. He walked his first hitter in the first inning, but came away unscathed, and that one was in there. I always loved that. Brewer thought he was going to trot down to first, and somewhat of a delayed call on that strike one. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. And that one missed the corner, and so he walks the first one here in the second as Brewer trots down to first, and here comes Lindsay, the first baseman. So Lindsay awaits the first pitch, and that one's down low for a ball. We certainly send our condolences and our prayers to Union University President Dub Oliver and his entire family on the passing of his mother this past week. The funeral was held yesterday, and had a wonderful relationship with his mom, as you would well expect. And Dub, we're all thinking about you. And that one goes down into the dirt, so we're at 3-0. And Rodier is next. And the wind and the pitch. Right down in there for a strike one call. Lindsay had a good opening game today. And he sends one into center field, but only about 3 steps toward it. And snagging that one is Trey Frierson out in center, and that's out number 1. And that will bring up Mitchell Rodier, the shortstop. And he's from Pelham, Alabama. Snap throw over to first, and he wasn't even hardly a step off the bag. But Lane's letting him know he's there. And the pitch right down in there for a strike one call. No balls and a strike. 1 out, 1 on here in the second inning. And that one was inside, got away from him. 2 balls and ball and a strike. I was about to give him one more than he should have had. Evans looks the runner at first. And the pitch. That one went low. 2 balls and a strike. Johnston, the catcher, would be next. That's Dylan Johnston. And the wind and the pitch. And that's low. 3 balls and 1 strike. He's been getting behind the hitters. And Rodier awaits the 3-1. High for ball 4, so he's put 2 men on. And that will bring up Dylan Johnston, the catcher. Will Knowles was the catcher in the opening game and hit a home run in the second inning over the right center field wall. Here's the pitch. And that one is in there for strike 1. Johnston is from Athens, Alabama. The wind, and that one was tapped foul right in front of the plate. So the runners trot back to their respective bases. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And let's see if Evans can get him to chase one here on the 0-2. Taking his time on the sign. And the pitch. That's high for a ball. Both of these runners are threats to go on the base paths. They picked up 4 stolen bases in the first half of this doubleheader. And the wind and the pitch. And that one is a bouncing ball, and the shortstop picks it up, goes to first, and it's late. That was one that you just had almost everything that could have possibly slid away from him. It was such a slow roller, and then he picked it up, and it was too late to get the guy at second, fired on to first. And so now we have some real trouble here because we have the bases loaded and 1 out. And that brings up Mahan, the right fielder. So Caleb with an opportunity to do some damage here, and that one catches the inside corner for strike 1. No balls and a strike. And the wind of the pitch outside, a ball and a strike. Nowhere to put him. And the left fielder, Hunter Tillman, would be next. Orselli, the pitcher, is not in the hitting lineup, nor is Evans for Union. And that one high, 2 balls and a strike. He's walked 3 today, and 2 of them in this inning. And the pitch. And that one's fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. This would be a perfect time for another one of those double plays like they ended up with in the first inning that snuffed out a threat. So runners on every base. 2 and 2, 1 out. And Evans delays and fires. And that one off his glove, that is, he's going to fire it, gets the force play at home, and that's all he really needed at that point. No need to gamble on a throw to first. That was heads-up play, went off his glove, but fortunately, Evans was able to keep his concentration and fired that home with a big snap throw and got the force play at the plate. So no damage and 2 out. Bases still loaded, and here comes Tillman, the left fielder. And the pitch, and that one is going to do some damage as it is singled into center field, and that's going to score 2. So that's a first pitch single to bring in 2 runs for the Chargers, and they take the first lead 2-0 here in the second. That one was a perfectly timed fastball, and he just hit it right where there was a gap and got it over the second base bag into the outfield and brought home 2 runs. And here comes Bodine, who walked his first time up. And there is a high fly ball into right field, and he's under it and takes it for out number 3. But the Chargers picked up 2 runs on 2 hits. They also had a walk, no errors, and they had 2 men left on base. So your score at the end of an inning and a half is Alabama Huntsville 2, Union 0.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Andre Orselli has been staked to a 2-run lead here as he gets ready to start his second inning of work. And for Union, it'll be the third baseman Mitch Sisk, left fielder Grayson Swanson, and the first baseman Grant Ross to challenge Orselli. And he managed to set Union down with 12 pitches in the first inning of play. Of course, this campus is one that I have a lot of fondness for because this is where I worked for 29 years as a professor in the area of communications. And it was the best job I ever had and the best people that you could possibly work with at Union University. And here's the first pitch, and that one is a bouncing ball to the shortstop. He comes in on 2 hops and fires on to first for out number 1. And so Grayson Swanson will step in. Orselli has set Union down in order so far, and he has 2 strikeouts.
Up to the plate, number 9, Grayson Swanson.
And here's the pitch. Just a little low for ball 1. These 2 teams will meet again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Right here, same place, same station. And that's in there 1-1. So you can see the game tomorrow right here on the BallGame Blitz Sports Network and the Union Sports Network. We got you covered. And that one is a lazy fly ball that Evans gets under and takes one-handed, getting off the mound. And that's out number 2.
Now batting number 15,
Grant Ross stepping in now for the Bulldogs. 5 up, 5 down off of the arm of Orselli, who actually is the one who snagged that fly ball. Blake Barrett would be next if Ross can manage to get on. And the pitch went around on that big-time fastball. No balls and a strike. Getting some shadows now as the sun is beginning to dip a little bit more in the sky. No balls and 2 strikes. You can see the shadows coming from the stadium lights where the sun is streaking behind. And that one just a bit low. Ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on for the Bulldogs. And the wind and the pitch. That one's fouled out of play. Don't think it quite made it out to the parking lot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Orselli set to deliver. Another fastball, and that's fouled out of play. Now, a lot of people around here, I mentioned it was going to be 38 degrees, and I had some people up here saying, what should I do with my plants tonight? I think they're going to be okay. Only going to be about a couple of hours in the 30s, and that one's outside. A ball and 2 strikes. If you were with us in the first game, I mentioned what a great night it was last night for the Union University Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame banquet. 2 balls, 2 strikes to see 6 of the greatest in 6 different sports at Union through the years, including one Raymond Judy, who's not with us any longer, but he dated back to the 1940s. And that one is going to be a slow roller to the second baseman, fires quickly on to first for out number 3. So once again for the Bulldogs, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We have completed 2, and the Chargers lead the Bulldogs 2-0.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Lane Evans back on the mound taking his warm-ups and trying to keep the Chargers held down to this 2-run lead that they have after they picked up a couple in the second inning. And we're going back up into
Now batting, number 13, Carson Vialta.
the early part of the order with Carson Vialta. He's 0 for 1 so far today. And the wind and the pitch. Nice change of pace for strike 1. Landon Ezel, the third baseman, will be next, followed by Brewer, the designated hitter. And that one is going to go into right field and may get a, nope, he's not going to quite try to make the round and go into second. That one was a slow roller into right field, and for a moment it looked like he might be able to stretch that one into a double, but he thought better of it and stayed on first. So Vialta is 1 for 2, and here comes Landon Ezel, the third baseman. 0 for 1 this afternoon in the second game. And that is a fly ball, and everybody takes a look at it, but no go. It goes back up into the stands and then bounces away, and there was a lady going after it, and she thought better of it and sat right back down very quickly. An 0-1 count with a runner on first and nobody out. And Evans delivers. And going around on that one was Ezel. No balls and 2 strikes. Brewer, the designated hitter, will be next. And the pitch. And that one is low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two runs, 3 hits for UAH for Union. They haven't been able to scratch one yet. And the pitch, down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taking the lead down there at first, not a big one at this stage. And the pitch. And that one's going into left field for a base hit. Sharply hit, so it's only going to get the runner to second. But they're already in another threat with runners at first and second and nobody out.
Now batting, number 6, Colin Brewer.
And here comes Colin Brewer, the designated hitter. Brewer walked his first time up, back in the first inning. And they've got another threat going right now. Alabama Huntsville going for win number 26. And he got that one right down in there for strike 1 call. I don't anticipate them attempting a double steal at this point, even though both of these runners are a threat to go at any time. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that one is going to get, nice job by the shortstop of pulling that down, but he knew there was no way he was going to be able to get the very fast Brewer going down to first. It was a good job because that kept a run from scoring, but the flip side of that is the bases are loaded with nobody out. And here comes Jackson Lindsay, the first baseman. 0 for 1. And Rautier, the shortstop, would be next. And the pitch. Inside for a ball. No place to put him. And this is a full-blown jam here in the third. We're going 7 with this one in the second half of the doubleheader. And that one drops right down in there for a strike. Ball and a strike. They put together 5 hits in the first 2 innings because we haven't got an out in this one. And here's your pitch. And that one right to the shortstop. And he did not get the runner, but it was a good opportunity. He flew over there and attempted to tag him, but umpire says he was back safely on that one. Good job of snagging that one by Britt Netterville and almost pulled off an unassisted double play. The runner had to make a mad dash back down into second. So here's Rautier, the shortstop, and he walked his first time up. Outside for a ball. And Dylan Johnston is on deck, the catcher. He got to hit his first time up. And the pitch. And that one is going to the shortstop once again, on to second and on to first. A double play. Your traditional 6-4 to 3, navigated beautifully, and Evans gets out of the jam. So there were no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So the score at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it is Alabama Huntsville 2, Union nothing. Union will have the bottom half of the order with Blake Barrett, the designated hitter, Caden Cottrell, the catcher, and Trey Frierson, the center fielder, as they attempt to get their first base runner in this second half of the doubleheader. Alabama Huntsville won the opener 10-6. They poured it on in the late innings, and Union stayed tough with them for 6, and then it just went back in the direction of the Chargers the rest of the way. Orselli has struck out 2 and walked none and set down all 6 Bulldogs in order in the first 2 innings. And he pitches right down there in the inside corner for strike 1. And here's the pitch, and that one's fouled off over the screen. No balls and 2 strikes to Barrett. Union's pulled off 2 double plays in this game so far, and that has kept the damage minimal. And that one's fouled back into the screen. Still no balls and 2 strikes. It was good to see so many of the previous inductees into the Union University Sports Hall of Fame at this year's ceremony last night in the Carl Grant Event Center, and that one's fouled off once again. Hanging tough out there is Barrett. It's always a nostalgic night to hear the great stories of seasons past in so many different sports on this campus. And I savor them because it's just really living history of sports at Union University. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And of course, this was the final banquet, at least as an employed member of the Union University family, for outgoing athletic director Tommy Sadler, who threw out the first pitch in the opener here. And that's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And also threw out the first pitch for the second game of the women's softball game that's going on at the adjoining field. So Tommy has had to make his rounds. And he's cooked a few hamburgers today, too. And that is going to be a slow roller. It's going to be a tough play, but he fires on to first and picks him off by a step. That was a 3-hopper and a very slow one out to Vialta, but he naps him at first, and so that's going to bring in Caden Cottrell, the catcher. So they have sent down 7 Bulldogs in a row to open this game. And you don't get as many comeback chances in a 7-inning bottom half of a doubleheader. And that one's going right back to the pitcher, and he is going to toss it on to first for out number 2. So Orselli has retired 8 in a row, and Frierson, the center fielder, heads in.
Up to the plate, number 13, Trey.
Netterville at the top of the order would be next if he can get on. But Orselli is just sailing right along. Hasn't allowed a base runner yet. And here's the pitch. Went around on it for strike 1. The wind and the pitch. And that one is fouled back behind the bleachers. No balls and 2 strikes. Frierson awaits the 0-2. And here it comes. And struck him out. That is the 3rd strikeout for Orselli. And he's done it all on 34 pitches. So once again for the Bulldogs, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've completed 3, and it is Alabama Huntsville 2, Union nothing. I want to also send out a salute to another great gentleman who's part of the Union history, and that is Coach Lynn Stranick, who was He was the guiding hand of this baseball program in years past, and Lynn is retiring at the end of this semester. And so a lot of us old-timers are going, I can recommend retirement very highly because I've enjoyed it and just being a sportscaster for the last 2 years. But Lynn is another one of the legends of Union sport, and we are going to miss him, and that got him on the back of the neck. That one just completely got away from Evans, so first pitch sends Johnston down to first base as a hit batsman. So here comes Caleb Mahan. He's 0 for 1. And Johnston down on first base. That's the second time he's been on base in the game. And here's the pitch. That's in there for strike one. Hunter Tillman is on deck. We are in the top half of the fourth here at Union University. And the pitch. That's down into the dirt. Ball and a strike. And you can feel that wind whipping a lot more out towards center field. And the flag out there is, you can see how it is, and it is a northwest wind. And went around on it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the wind and the pitch. And that one is tapped to the third baseman. Goes to second. On to first. Didn't get him, but it was a good effort for the Bulldogs. They managed to get the lead runner, and so there's 1 down, and Mahan is on first. And that brings up Hunter Tillman, the left fielder, who is 1 for 1 in today's game. He had himself a 2-run double in the, I got to wind back up and see when that was. He brought in both runs back in the second inning. And he sends one that is bending into the left fielder. Made a nice little sliding catch on that one. Grayson Swanson with a great job staying with that ball, and so that's out number 2. Had to do a little bit of a slide at the end of that one, but he stayed with it. His concentration was great. So we got 2 down and a runner on first. And that gets back to the top of the order with Garrett Bodine, and that is outside for ball 1. The center fielder is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. And the wind and the pitch. And the runner's going, and he will get in ahead of the tag. So there you go with a steal. Two balls and no strikes, a runner in scoring position now. And that one's outside, so it's 3-0. Vialta, the second baseman, would be next. And the pitch to Bodine. That's high, and so he trots down to first to put runners on first and second for Vialta, who is 1 for 2 in today's game. And he'll be hitting, once again, left-handed against the right-handed pitching of Evans. Landon Ezell is on deck. 2 out, 2 on, and a 2-0 lead for Alabama Huntsville. And the pitch. And looked like it may have grazed him, but he got just out of the way of it. A ball and no strikes. And the pitch. In there for a strike. If you have never been inside the Logos Library here at Union, I really encourage you. You owe it to yourself to just visit it one time to see all the book collections they have, but the many meeting rooms, conference areas, and it is a fabulous, fabulous building. And that one is a bouncer to the shortstop, and he tosses on to second for out number 3. So there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they had no one left on base. So we have completed 3.5 innings, and it is Alabama Huntsville 2, Union nothing.
The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in Three-Way.
So we are halfway through, and Orselli has thrown only 36 pitches in setting down the entire Bulldog lineup in order in the first 3 innings. So we're back to the top with Britt Netterville. And let's see if the shortstop can get something going for the Bulldogs, trailing 2-0. He'll be followed by second baseman Alec Hardy and Carson Chavies, the right fielder. And here's the first pitch. Got in that inside corner for strike 1. He has really had his stuff this afternoon. He struck out 3, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to get one really out of the infield. And the catcher was already signaling for that one outside. A ball and 1 strike. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Chargers, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to get anything. And went around on it hard. He really had a swing, but just not there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Netterville. And the pitch. And that one gets into the outfield, but it is bending foul. So, as we say, just a long strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's the longest ball of any kind the Bulldogs have had against Orselli. And the pitch low for ball 2. So we got a 2-2 count. The wind and the pitch. And just got a piece of it, fouled it off his foot. I can tell you, every batter I've ever talked to that has had that happen, they say it stings like the dickens, and you have to just shake it off. But you foul one off your foot, and when it's got spin on it, as it does, it hurts. Well, we'll do it again with 2 balls and 2 strikes. He steps out of the batter's box, and the official umpire decides to clean off the plate just a bit. So we'll do it all over again on a 2-2. And he delivers. Fouled off against the screen, and Netterville is hanging quite tough against Orselli. And here's the wind and the pitch. Outside, ball 3. So we've gone full. Possibility of the Bulldogs to get their first base runner here of the late afternoon, as we are approaching the 6 o'clock hour. And here it is. And he walked him. First base runner for the Bulldogs. And let's see if they can begin to make something happen. Here is Alec Hardy, the second baseman. He struck out his first time up. Against Orselli, you'll take him any way you can get him on base. getting his lead at first. And the pitch. Inside. So here in the fourth, he's begun missing a bit. Netterville gets a lead once again. And the pitch. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes. Carson Chavies will be next. So here we go on a 2-0 count. And the pitch. That's a foul back. Thought for a second it may hit our roof here, but it just missed that one. So 2 balls and a strike. But Bulldogs do anything to try to begin to chip away at this. Down 2-0. Throw back over to first, and he's back in easily. Let's see if the runner decides to go on this one. Nope, not this time. There you go, and that's the first base hit of the game for the Bulldogs, and it gets away from the right fielder. Couldn't scoop it up, so the runner makes it over to third. So runners are on first and third with nobody out. That was almost like a perfectly timed hit and run. The only difference was he'd have probably been held to second if the right fielder hadn't lost it outside his glove. So Union with runners on the corners and nobody out, and here comes Carson Chavies, the right fielder. And let's see if he can deliver one to bring somebody home. He's going to bunt, and that's going to get a run home on the, and they get everybody safe as well. That was as beautifully that was as beautifully delivered of a sacrifice squeeze as you could possibly imagine, and he managed to get to first. There's a box between the catcher, the pitcher, and the third baseman that you attempt to try to get a squeeze to work into, and that was a trademark. So you got runners on first and second with nobody out, and you got the first run in as Netterville crossed the plate to make it a 2-1 game, and now you have the meeting of the minds on the mound. And Orselli is in trouble really for the first time today after setting down the first 9 Bulldogs in succession. All right, they'll settle him down just a bit, and here comes Mitch Sisk, the third baseman. He's 0 for 1. But Union with runners on first and second and nobody out, and they finally begun to prove that Orselli is human here in the fourth. And that's a fly ball that is going in shallow right field, and the right fielder picks it up. Nobody can advance. And that'll bring up Grayson Swanson, the left fielder, who's 0 for 1. But you have Hardy and Chavies on the base paths. Grant Ross, the first baseman, would be next. Union 1 run on 2 hits, both of them in this inning. Here's the wind. And the pitch. Went around on it. No balls and a strike. And when you got him on first and second and only 1 out, you want to try to deliver at least one of these home so you can tie this one up. He's looking back the runner at second, and that one goes down into the dirt. Ball and a strike. And a lot of these parents of the seniors here, they have enjoyed the afternoon. They would love to see a split of this doubleheader. And here's the pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Ross, the first baseman, is on on deck right now. And let's see if Grayson can deliver here. The 2-1. Nope, he steps off the mound and tosses back to second. I don't think there was much chance that they were going to try a steal at that stage. So they spin the wheel once again on a 2-1. And goes back to second again. He's back in there safely. Just dirtied up the uniform a bit. They'll get some extra strength all detergent to clean that one up. Still looking back the runner at second. Here's the wind. And the pitch. And went around on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good fastball. So here's a crucial pitch with 1 out. And Union threatening to tie or go ahead in this game. And here comes the 2-2. And got him. Went around, and so that is strikeout number 4 for Oselli. And that will bring up Grant Ross, the first baseman, with 2 down. Coming into today, Ross was hitting .250 for the season. And missed on that one. Ball and no strikes. Steve Beverly with you here this afternoon for both of them on the BallGame Blitz Sports Network and the Union Sports Network. And that one is low for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. If he gets on, Blake Barrett, the designated hitter, will follow. Here's the wind and the 2-0 coming. And that one right back to the pitcher. He's going to underhand it to first base and gets out of the jam. Bulldogs had a threat, and they did get 1 on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So our score at the end of 4 innings of play is Alabama Huntsville 2, Union 1.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
Lane Evans returns for inning number 5. So far, he's given up 2 earned runs. He's walked 4 and struck out none, but he has held Alabama Huntsville to the 2 runs that they had in the 2nd inning. And after Union chipped away a bit in the 4th, he's only trailing 2-1. And he will face Landon Ezell, Colin Brewer, and Jackson Lindsay here in the top half of the 5th inning. Ezell is 1 for 2 today. And Evans delivers the first pitch. And that's a long drive. It's way back there, is it? It is gone for a home run. And so first pitch, and he lines it out of the ballpark over the left field wall. And that makes it a 3-1 game in favor of Alabama Huntsville. And here comes Colin Brewer, the designated hitter. And that was a big blast that just kept going and going and going into the high left field area, and all of a sudden it was gone. And for Ezell, that is his 8th home run of the season. 2 balls and no strikes to Brewer. And that ties Brennan Vasquez for the leadership. And there's a long one. Way back there, way back there. It's off the wall. He's rounding second, and he's going to be in there with a stand-up double. Looked like we were about to have a Xerox copy, but it held up inside the ballpark and bounced off the wall. So they've been hitting some rockets off of Evans in this inning. And here's Jackson Lindsay, the first baseman, who is 0 for 2 this afternoon. 7 hits now for the Chargers. And the pitch. And that one is right to the first baseman. Hard hit ball, but he was in perfect position to snag it. Excellent job by Ross with that concentration. So here comes Rodier, the shortstop. He is 0 for 1. And we have been told his name is pronounced Rotier. I've been calling Rodier, doing the French pronunciation of it. So to the family, we apologize on that. Rotier. Runner on second with 1 out and a 1-0 count. And the pitch. Right down in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rotier will be followed by Dylan Johnston, the catcher. And he awaits the 1-1. And there's one. 1 hop to the second baseman on to first. Out number 2, the runner advances to third. And that will bring up Dylan Johnston, the catcher, who is 1 for 1.
Now batting, number 16, Dylan Johnston.
Evans has given up 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, and walked 4. But trying to get out of this one with minimal damage. And that one fouled back up to the screen. No balls and a strike. After that big home run that was hit over the left field wall, everything could have fallen apart, but it in fact did not. At least it hasn't so far. And that one just missed. A ball and a strike. And they await the 1-1. That one's fouled down the left field line. But Ezell, with that big blast over the left field wall, made it a 3-1 game. But if they can keep the runner from third from crossing the plate, it's a good job of pitching out of the jam. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, runner on third. And a 2-run lead for the Chargers. Union has not been able to get a lead in either game today. The pitch struck him out. That's his first strikeout, and that was a good job of pitching out of what could have been a much more serious jam. They picked up 1 run on 2 hits. The big blast was the home run over the left field wall by Landon Ezell. No errors and 1 man left on base. So we have completed 4 1/2, and it is the Chargers 3, the Bulldogs 1.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
It'll be the bottom half of the order here in the bottom half of the fifth. Blake Barrett, the designated hitter. Caden Cottrell, the catcher, and Trey Frierson, the center fielder. Evans did a good job of getting out of trouble there in the fifth, and Union only down 3-1. And let's see if they can slice back into it. The trouble they've had today in the first game and here is that in the first game, they made rallies and tied the game 3 times, but ended up giving up a bundle in the 6th, 7th, and 8th and lost 10-6 in the opener. This one's a lower scoring affair. That was almost an accidental foul by Barrett for strike 1. He's 0 for 1 in the second half of this doubleheader. Right down in there for strike 2. This Orselli, he has really got his stuff. And the wind and the 0-2. And that one is bouncing to the second baseman. He went just a little bit off the infield, fired to first for out number 1. And that brings up Caden Cottrell, the catcher.
Now batting, number 28, Caden Cottrell.
Getting a little chillier outside. It's dropped down a couple of degrees in the last 30 minutes or so. And that one's outside for a ball. The Union fans have not had a lot to be joyous about as far as the score, but it has been a glorious afternoon to be outside and seeing this. Ball and a strike with 1 out and nobody on for the Bulldogs. And Orselli delivers. And got him to go for a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 7 hits for Alabama. Huntsville Union, 1 run on 2 hits. And the pitch just missed the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's thrown 62 pitches, which is not a lot in 5 innings of work. And the pitch. And that one's going to be a grounder to the shortstop. He fires on to first for out number 2. And checking in, Trey Frierson, the center fielder, 0 for 1.
Up to the plate, number 13, Trey Frierson.
Frierson is another one of these seniors that was honored today on Senior Day. And Orselli. He showed a bunt. It was low. 1 ball, no strikes. Good fastball, and that one was tapped foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got some other great folks that are retiring, including some good friends of mine from the Union faculty, including Dr. Randall Bush is one of them, and also in the pitch, and got him to go around on that one, a ball and 2 strikes. Dr. Jan Wilms, who longtime veteran in computer science, is retiring, and there's some others. Lynn Stranick, as we mentioned. And that one is going into right field. Went right back with the pitch, and Frierson is on with a base hit. And that'll go back up to the top of the order with Britt Netherville. He is 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. And that got things started for Union to get its sole run here in the bottom half of the doubleheader. And the wind, and that is outside for ball one. But some of those names I just mentioned to you, they are veterans of the Union faculty and have committed their lives to this place, and they are going to be sorely missed. But I can tell you from example, they are going to enjoy retirement. I make it plain. The 1-0 outside for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Alec Hardy would be next. And here comes the pitch to the shortstop. That's high, ball 3. I don't think he's gone 3-0 to any hitter until right now. He's had some 3-1 and 3-2 counts, but I don't think he's gone 3-0 to anybody. Well, let's see if he goes right down the middle with this one. Nope, it's outside for ball 4. So Union with another threat with 2 out. Runners on first and second, and here comes Hardy, who is 1 for 2. He also struck out. And they're all going to have the brain trust going out once again to just have a conference as to what, and probably going out there just to check to see that Orselli's not getting too tired. He doesn't walk many batters, but he's walked 2 today. Coming into today, he had only walked 9 for the entire season. He struck out 4. And the umpire is coming out there and say, okay, gentlemen, let's try to wind this up. And there was not a doubt in my mind that they were going to leave him in. So here's Hardy stepping in with runners on first and second and 2 out. And that one dips low. 1 ball, no strikes. Base hit would bring in at least 1. And that one sliced foul off against the roof of the dugout for the Chargers. Ball and a strike. We are in the bottom of the 5th of a 7-inning nightcap. The wind, the pitch. And that one is a bouncing ball, and the shortstop's got a fire onto first. He does for out number 3, and once again, Orselli pitches out of the jam. For Union, they picked up no runs on 1 hit and 1 walk, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So the score at the end of 5 complete innings of play, it is Alabama-Huntsville 3, Union 1.
Are you looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Well, back we are as we go to the top half of the 6th inning with the Chargers on top of the Bulldogs 3-1. And Dylan Thomas coming in to pitch for Union. And you wind up the book on Lane Evans. He gave up 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 4 and struck out 1. And Mahan comes into the plate, 0 for 2. And the first pitch from Thomas, and that is high for ball 1. We'll check on the totals from the left-hander who's in now. And that one a little bit low for ball 2. Thomas has a 7.88 earned run average. Got him to go around on that one for strike 1. He's 2-0 on the season. And he has walked 7, struck out 3. And went around again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Showed a good fastball. Hunter Tillman, the left fielder, is on deck. And that's a high fly foul. And they're chasing. I'm not sure he's going to have a chance at that one, and that is out of play. That's why you run 1 sprints in practice from time to time, just so you can catch up to those things. But that one was just completely out of his range. So it's still a 2-2 count to Mahan. And the pitch from Thomas. Just low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We've gone full. And the shadows of late afternoon begin to encroach on the field here, and that one is slicing foul. Bounce back off the fence over near the bullpen, and they toss that away. So we'll spin the wheel again for another 3-2. Been a busy afternoon here at the baseball and softball fields, because you had 2 doubleheaders going on. You had the Alabama Huntsville women that are still playing over behind us in softball. And that's ball 4. Just inside, so Mahan goes down to first, and that will bring up Hunter Tillman, the left fielder. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He has walked twice. Now, let me take that back. That's Bodine who's up next. He walked twice, but Tillman has 2 RBIs also in the afternoon. Showed a bunt. Was outside for a ball. 3 runs, 7 hits for Alabama Huntsville. Union 1 run on 3 hits. Orselli has been tough to navigate this afternoon. And that pitch gets away from him. He's trying to get that pick off, and he's going to go all the way to third because that one went almost all the way to the bullpen. That was a little bit too casual throw over to first base, and it completely got away. So the runner moved all the way to third on the error. And now they are threatening some insurance runs here in the top half of the 6th. The wind and the pitch outside for ball 2. And we'll go back up to the top of the order after this with Bodine and Vialta. Outside, ball 3. And I see a few more jackets being pulled out and hoodies. Got it in there for strike 1, 3-1. Even got a few people with the actual hoods on out here because it does feel a bit chillier, even though it's still at 65 degrees right now. We're getting here in the late afternoon. There's not as much sun that's directly on the fans now. That one fouled back, 3 balls and 2 strikes. As we hit close to the 6:30 half hour. And here's the pitch. There's a drive that is back to center field, and he's underneath it and takes it. And the runner is going to come home with a sacrifice fly and run number 4 for the Chargers as they take a 4-1 lead without number 1. But that was a perfectly navigated fly ball, exactly what you wanted to bring home that run. Bases are cleared now for Bodine. 0 for 1. He has walked twice. That one's high. Ball and no strikes. And that one just missed the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Also, some congratulations are in order to 3 very, very good friends of mine that are part of the Union faculty. That's on the inside corner for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. One of them, the faculty member of the year, as announced yesterday, and that one was tap foul back to the screen, is my great friend Ted Cluck, who is the professor of journalism at Union. And I can tell you, here's a guy that has written somewhat in the neighborhood of 24 sports books that are just wonderful to read. And that one is going to be, will it stay in play for him? And he slid down and could not nab it. So that just goes for an extended strike, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ted, most deserving of being faculty member of the year. Scott Lancaster, one of my former students, who has been so long time part of the head of videography for university relations at Union, and that's high for ball 3. And Scott was chosen as the staff member of the year yesterday in a very special chapel, and I congratulate them. And also a big honor for Dr. Brian Dawson, another great friend of mine, and so I congratulate all 3 of them. That one is fouled back, and it went off the brick just to the right of us. I was calling a game out at USJ earlier this week, and we had one that bounced into the press box, and I was able to snag it. We weren't expecting it, but it did happen. And here's the pitch. And there's a drive into left field, but it went right into the left fielder's glove. Good job of snagging that one by Grayson Swanson. He didn't really have to make much of a move. So it's 2 down. They have 1 in this inning to lead Union 4-1. Vialta is 1 for 3 today. And there goes the pitch. Hit the inside corner. No balls and a strike. And here comes the 0-1 from Thomas. There's a drive. Way back there, way back there. That ball is gone for a home run. Vialta sucks one over the right field wall, and it is a 6-1 game. And how about that? Boy, did he get everything on that one. He got a big smile on his face, and deservedly so. That's a one-run homer. It's 5-1, not 6-1. But boy, did he go for the downs on that one, and he got all of it. So you clear it up, and here comes Ezel. And that one is a low for ball one. And for Vialta, that is his 5th homer of the year. And the pitch. And they say did not go around. It bounced away on top of the plate. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 out. Big 2-out homer. Insurance runs there for Vialta to extend the lead to 5-1 for Alabama Huntsville. Boy, you just had the feeling when he smacked that one, it was gone. 3 balls and no strikes. Ezel 2 for 3 today. He has an RBI and he scored 2 runs, and he's on base once again. So that's his 3rd time on the base paths, and they're taking the slow walk to the mound, and I think that is going to be all for Dylan Thomas. And Casey McGee's over talking to the umpire. And they've got a mini meeting on the mound. Now, I don't know whether they're going to take him out or not, because I did not see any activity going. Yeah, here he is. He's coming in out of the bullpen. So we got a call to the bullpen. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is after this message.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Ryan Evans is the 3rd Union pitcher of this late afternoon. And we'll check his totals for you. Ryan is 4-4 on the season. He has struck out 18 and walked 26. Given up 36 runs and 37 hits. He has an 8 earned run average. He also has earned 1 save. And taking his warm-up tosses, and he will face Colin Brewer. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Alabama Huntsville. 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Bulldogs. And this has been a big inning for insurance runs, with 3 across the board here in the 6th for the Chargers. And they check back out to the 1st and 3rd base lines. And here comes Brewer. He is 2 for 2. He's also walked. Colin, the designated hitter, and he bunts it right in front of the plate. Catcher has to rush it, but gets him out at first. And that is out number 3. Tried to bunt his way on, but no go that time. So it was a 3-run inning for the Chargers that was led by the big blast out of the park over the right field wall for a home run. And so they lead it as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, 5-1.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow-motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Bottom half of the 6th inning. Bulldogs want to try to get a rally here. Down 5-1. And that one gets completely away. Orselli has gone all the way and has held the Bulldogs in check on only 3 hits. And here's the 1-0 count. And went around on it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chavies is 1 for 2 in today's game. And he's got an RBI. And that one low. 2 balls and a strike. Bulldogs scored their run in the 4th, and they were threatening to get more, but they couldn't do it. And there's a high fly ball moves into left center fielder, and the center fielder makes a big run, and it was snagged by Bodine for out number 1. And here comes Mitch Sisk, the third baseman, who is 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice fly earlier in the game. But Orselli has been double tough all the way through. He's only thrown 82 pitches in the game. He's walked 2, struck out 4, given up the 1 run on only 3 hits. 1-0 count. Sun going down behind the clouds now, and so they have turned on the lights here at the stadium. And that one's fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Some of these low-hanging clouds have taken all of the shadows away. And that one on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sisk. Grayson Swanson, the left fielder, will be next. And the pitch. And that one's a 1-hopper to the shortstop. He fires on to first for out number 2. And that will bring up Grayson Swanson, who is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He struck out his last time up. He's 1 of 4 that Orselli has struck out. And here's the pitch. That one gets away. Ball and no strikes. And we knew, based on particularly his strikeout to walk ratio, that Orselli was going to be double tough, and he has indeed been that one, and that's on the inside corner, ball and a strike. Going for his 5th victory of the season. And the pitch, got it in there again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Nobody on for the Bulldogs here in the 6th. The wind, the pitch. That one is fouled. They're going to give chase to it, but I don't think they'll ever catch it. It was just out of the range beyond the fence. So we'll do it all again at 1 and 2, and they'll trade baseballs. Again, beautiful spring day in Jackson, Tennessee. It's going to be a chilly night tonight, so you might be sure and have the electric blanket still handy wherever it may be if you have already disposed of it for the spring, because we're going to have some cool nights here upcoming. Here's the pitch. Got a piece of it. Still 1 and 2. And remind you, these two schools play again at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And the pitch. Got him swinging, and they're going to have to throw down to first. Catcher fires it, and they got him. And that is out number 3. So for the Bulldogs, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We're going to the 7th. And it is Alabama Huntsville still on top, 5-1.
Championship DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way.
So we go to the top half of the 7th inning, and it has been pretty much all Alabama Huntsville, 5-1, and Ryan Evans continues in relief, and he will face Lindsey, Rotier, and Johnston as we go to the 7th. 8 hits for the Chargers, only 3 hits for Union. Orselli has been pitching a masterpiece here this afternoon. Jackson Lindsey 0 for 3 this afternoon. And Evans delivers. And that one's inside for a ball. We might see the sun peek through one more time. There's a huge cloud right here. It's not a rain cloud by any stretch of the imagination, but there's one over here to our left over in the western sky, and that's why we have not seen the sun over here. It looks like it's peeking through on other portions of the Union campus. Here's the pitch, and that one goes over the base path, and it is going into right field. He's not going to be able to make it beyond first. That one hit the top of the base and went into right field. So the liner for a single for Lindsey will now bring up Rotier.
At the plate, shortstop, Mitchell Rotier.
Rotier is 0 for 2. He has walked. And he's got a runner on first to see if he can move around. And with nobody out, Evans delivers. And that one is going to be lined into right field for a base hit. And the runner's going to move over to third. So they've got him on the corners with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. And that brings up Dylan Johnston, the catcher, who is 1 for 2.
Dylan Johnston.
He struck out once. He had a sacrifice earlier. 5 runs, 10 hits now for the Chargers. And they've got a threat once again. And the pitch by Evans is outside. A ball and no strikes. Union had several rallies in the opener that they dropped 10-6. But in this one, they just haven't been able to get anything going against the pitching of Orselli. A ball and a strike. Caleb Mahan, the right fielder, would be next, followed by Hunter Tillman. And the runner goes to second. They'll never get him. There's no throw. And you knew he was headed there, and so Rotier has moved over to second. And now they got them both in scoring position. 2 balls and a strike, and nobody out. And there's a drive into left field, and he's under it, but that is going to bring in another run. And so chasing home is Lindsay, and that makes it a 6-1 game. So a sacrifice fly. And here's Mahan as Johnston delivers the sacrifice fly. Still got a runner on second with 1 out. That one gets away, and runner's going to easily move to third. So Mahan steps back in there, and he's got one only 90 feet away. And the insurance runs are continuing to collect up for the Chargers. The wind and the pitch is high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Hunter Tillman, the left fielder, will be next. Evans winds and pitches. And he got the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. And the wind and the pitch. And he fouled that one off behind him. So we're at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Remind you that Union has one of the nicest walking trails that in hiking that's across the street on Pleasant Plains Drive. And if you ever want to just enjoy an afternoon, and tomorrow would be a great day for that, it's a terrific place, and you're out there with the nature trails, and it is terrific. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We've gone full with a runner on third and 1 out. And here goes Evans. And that one is going to go into right center field for a base hit, and that brings in run number 7. So Mahan went right for the gap and reached it and brings in a run, and that brings up Hunter Tillman. Tillman, the left fielder. And today he is 1 for 2, but he has 3 runs batted in. And that one chased him back to first. Now 7 runs on 11 hits. And right behind us, that's a strike, right behind us, the seniors on the Union women's softball team are being recognized along with their parents. Another great tradition that this university does in all sports. And that one's outside. Ball and a strike with 1 out. Taking a lead over at first. And that one right back through the middle for a base hit. They'll have him on first and second. 12th hit of the game for the Chargers. And so they'll go back up to the top of the order with Garrett Bodine, who is 0 for 2. But he has walked twice. So he's very capable of advancing these runners that way. That one is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. if you ever want to come over here and do the regular campus walk, it's mapped out here, and that one is going to go to the shortstop, who flips it backhanded and gets the double play. Backhand flip to the second baseman and on to first for the double play. Nice job of fielding for the Bulldogs, and so they wind up getting 2 more runs on 3 more hits. No errors and 1 man left on base. So we have completed 6.5. We got to go get them Bulldogs. It is the Chargers 7, Union 1.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
Bottom half of the 7th, Union trailing 7-1. And it'll be Grant Ross, Blake Barrett, and Caden Cottrell. Ross, the first baseman, and he will be facing the relief pitcher, Wright, who is coming in and taking some tosses after Orselli went 6 innings and just completely dominated the Bulldogs. One ball, 1 strike. He's not wasting any time out on the mound. Man, that one just missed him. For a minute there, it looked as though that it might have bounced up and hit him, but it did not. So it is 2 balls and a strike. Andrew Reich, he has no record, but he has walked 1 and struck out 1. He's only pitched 3 innings coming into today. Two-two count, and that one is slice foul into the Alabama Huntsville dugout. This is Trey Wright, not Andrew Wright. He is 2-1 on the season, 6.38 ERA. He has struck out 19 and walked 14, and he has struck out 20. As Ross goes down on strikes, and here comes Blake Barrett, the designated hitter. 1 down in the 7th, and hoping for a hold with this one, and that's a high fly ball that is going back into deep right field, and one-hand grab. Not quite at the wall, but it was back at the warning track for out number 2. Mahan had to give chase on that one, and he had some help over there in the corner by Bodine. And so here we go, the last hope for the Bulldogs, Caden Cottrell, with 2 down, and that one is into the Bulldog dugout. No balls and a strike. Wright has a very good fastball. The wind and the pitch. That one bounces up. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. And that one is a fair ball, long throw, and he stretches, and he got him. Long throw by the third baseman, Ezel, and he fired it on to first. A big stretch by Lindsey, and they get him, and that is game, set, and match. Your final score is Alabama Huntsville 7, Union 1. We'll be back in just a moment with the totals and to wrap it up for the afternoon.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Well, this was a first-rate pitching performance by Andre Orselli for Alabama Huntsville as he set the Bulldogs down on 3 hits. And the Chargers scored in 4 of the 7 innings, including 5 runs in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, to dominate the game 7-1. And they were led in hitting by home runs from Vialta and Ezel that both parked some deep drives out of the park. And Orselli threw 92 pitches in his 6 innings and just mixed his pitches completely well across the board, and he threw 61 strikes in the game. That was amazing. And so he had his stuff today, and it was very, very good across the board. He walked 2, struck out 5, and gave up only the 1 run and 3 hits. It was a tough outing for Lane Evans for Union. He gave up 7 hits and only 3 runs, but he walked 4 and struck out 1, and it was just a tough time for the relievers because they could not hold them down in the succeeding innings. Evans went 5 innings for Union. Dylan Thomas came in and went 2/3 of an inning, and Ryan Evans went 1 2/3 innings, but the Bulldogs gave up 12 hits, 7 earned runs. They walked 6 and struck out 1. So it was a tough afternoon as they went down 10-6 in the opener and 7-1 here in the nightcap. Our player of the game in this second game would have to be Andre Orselli with his 6-inning performance, 5 strikeouts, and holding the Bulldogs down on only 3 hits, and he only threw 92 pitches in those 6 innings. So a tough afternoon. Union goes down losing both ends of the doubleheader, but they've got another chance to see if they can salvage part of the weekend when these two teams meet again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. So as we wrap it up, we will tell you that the executive producer of the BallGame Blitz Sports Network and Worthy Road Studios is Paul Schultze. And our crew today was Summer Sturgis, Christopher Reasons, and your announcer, Steve Beverly, saying to all of you, until we're with you next time, so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.